What's up, guys? Hey, this is Christian Brindle with Six Figure Medicare Agent. Hope this video finds you doing well. And we're back with another video. Today, guys, we're going to be talking to you about how to brand yourself as an insurance agent. We always hear that the best lead that you're ever going to get in your entire career is going to be a referral. And it's actually probably not too far from the truth. Referrals are fantastic leads for you to get because a lot of times they're going to be very, very high conversion rates. They're going to be people that really already want to do business with you because you've done such a good job for a friend or a family member or a neighbor or someone in their church or something like that. So it's actually a very, very true statement that referrals are absolute fantastic items for you to be able to get in your business. But I would make the argument that if there's one lead source, one kind of lead that might edge out a referral, it's going to be a lead that actually reaches out to you because they've actually seen your brand through maybe content marketing. Maybe they watched some videos that you put out. Maybe they listened to a podcast, read some blogs, bought your books that you maybe put out. And they've just been sold on your brand and they kind of feel like they know you already because they spent so much time watching and absorbing your content. Not only that, you're going to typically find that they're very, very educated on your products and services already. There's not a whole lot of education that you have to do, and it just makes your life a little bit simpler because they've already done the work. They've listened to a pre-recorded presentation that you've already done in your words, exactly the same way that you would do it, but you did it once and you educated tons of people all at the same time, and so you're going to find that those kind of leads are extremely high conversion rates. And on top of that, they're going to be fans of yours from the get-go. So they're just great people for you to be able to work with. Before we jump into this whole topic of branding, though, guys, we got to talk about this video sponsor. You know who it is. Of course, it's my favorite telemarketing lead company, Lead Heroes. Guys, Lead Heroes has got you covered when it comes to telemarketing leads, whether it be final expense leads, Medicare supplement leads, turning 65 leads. And they just got something for everybody, whether it be you're just paying per lead or whether you're maybe doing one of their custom calling campaigns or one of their callers will actually make calls for you. And then they can really tailor it to really what your preferences are going to be, whether you want live transfers, pre-scheduled appointments, or whether you just want to lead as they generate it. They're going to have you covered. Just because you watch this video, they're going to give you 10% off any order you make on their website. Link to their website can be found down in the description of this video, as well as the coupon code right next to it. So go ahead and check them out, this AEP. All right, guys, let's talk about branding. I love branding. I think branding is what every insurance agent should do. If you're doing no branding in your business, and all you're doing is you are chasing down direct mail lead cards, you're running organic Facebook ads, but they're cookie cutter ads. If there is no brand or anything that sets you apart and all you're relying on is generic, cookie cutter advertisements, leads and things like that, chasing down leads, in my opinion, I think your business, for one, you work a lot harder for clients than you need to. Let me start out by saying that. You work so hard for each and every client because to them, they have no idea who you are. There's no familiarity. Now, you might get referrals, and referrals are great, but imagine having another source of referrals. Think of it like that. Branding is almost like another source of referrals. So let's say you have your source of referrals over here. You don't have to turn that faucet off. You never want to turn that faucet off. That's going to be a vital key to your business. But what if you could turn on another faucet that's just as lucrative, that brings in just as good of a quality of client, if not maybe even a smidge above that, that has your credibility built up before they ever get on the phone with you or ever meet with you? That's what branding is going to do for your business. It's just going to add another element. It's not to say that it's going to completely dominate everything you do in your business, but if you can do a decent job of branding yourself, it's going to bode well for you for years to come. My favorite way to brand, of course, has been content marketing. I mean, a lot of you guys might not even realize this, but what I'm doing right now, talking to you as we speak, is me branding myself, right? I'm putting myself out there to talk about a topic that I'm knowledgeable about, and I'm willing for you to see my face. I'm willing to share my ideas with you, give out free content, because it's good for my brand, right? It's good for Christian Brindle Insurance Services and Six Figure Medicare Agent. I don't do these videos for fun. Granted, I want to help you guys. I want to do everything that I can to be of help for you guys. But at the end of the day, the agenda is for me to build my brand. What this video is all about, right? And building your brand is going to come in so many different forms or fashions, but the way that I would define it and my idea of it, the way I view it in the Christian Brindle Webster's Dictionary, if that's, and it's not a real thing, but to me it is, the way I would define it would be somebody that recognizes you for what your area of expertise is through seeing your face, your brand, your logo, your company over and over and over again without you necessarily having to pick up a phone and call that person 1,000 times, right? It's somebody that saw an ad you ran over and over and over again, a branded ad where you're on front of the camera or your picture's on it. It's just heavily all about you. It's you-centric. Maybe they watched a lot of videos that you put out there. Maybe they listened to you talk in the form of a podcast. I've had a lot of success doing insurance podcasting. Maybe you have a really, really insightful and interesting blog, right? And they read all kinds of blogs of yours. Maybe you've put out some books and they've bought your books and read their books. It's like they feel like they know you already. There's a connection already built up because they connected with you through the work that you put out there into the stratosphere. And what's beautiful about this is when you do this, branding is a long-term play. Branding is not like a faucet that you turn on and off like leads. Now, leads you have to scrap more for, but branding might take years for you to really implement and establish yourself. But what it can do is it can feed your business and drive customers to your business for years and years to come, right? So how do you do this? Well, there's a lot of ways that you can do this, right? So the first thing I kind of talked about a second ago was being willing to put yourself out there in some capacity. Put your face and company logo out there on everything, right? Everything that you possibly can, because you want people to identify you. And I'm going to jump over here for a second because I think this kind of goes with it. Subconsciously, you want them to think of you when they think of what you're selling. So if you're selling Medicare, you want them to just, without even really realizing it, because they've seen you so much, so often, and as many places as you possibly can be, they think about you. And when people subconsciously have gotten to a place when they've seen you enough that they think about you, what you're doing is you've built up a comfort level with people, right? What do people not like, right? We're going to get into some psychology here. People don't like change. People don't like unfamiliarity. That's why it's so difficult to pick up the phone and talk to a stranger and make a sale, right? Because they don't know who you are. They don't know you from Adam, right? Now, if you're good on the phone, you can kind of get somewhere with that, but it's more of an uphill battle. Whereas if they've seen you from afar for a long period of time, there's a level of comfort there, right? They're comfortable to do business with you. They feel like they know you, right? People like to do business with who? People they know, like, and trust. Well, they know you because they've seen you all over the place. Subconsciously, they think of you when they think of your product and service. They trust you because they've watched you from afar for some time. And they like you because they like the information that you put out there. They like that you educate them, right? So it's a psychology thing, right? There's on a subconscious level, whether you're selling life insurance, they think of you when they think of life insurance. That is the end goal and the ultimate agenda of branding, right? You want to own some real estate in their head, right? In a positive way. You want them to think of you, right? When you think of online sales, or not online sales, but online ordering, right? And e-commerce, what do you think about? Every single person watching this video should have said Amazon. If you didn't say Amazon, I don't know what to do for you. I mean, I think you're a lost cause. You live under a rock. But why? Amazon has the biggest, the baddest brand in the world, I would argue, right? When you think of fairy princesses and magic and all that stuff, what do you think of? Disney. You probably think of Disney, Disneyland, all that stuff, right? The branding of it all is masterful, of what these companies do. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a multi-billion-dollar company in terms of your branding, but understand that branding works, and the most successful companies in the world understand branding, they believe in branding, and they make sure that it's a huge focus for their business going forward for years to come. They look 10 years down the road, not next week. And that's kind of the difference between huge companies and maybe not so big companies. So putting your face out there, being willing to put yourself out there is going to bode well for you. How do you brand? Well, social media today there's never been an easier way to brand yourself. Probably 30 years ago, when there was no social media, it would cost huge amounts of money to be able to really effectively brand yourself and your business. You could only do it through traditional media, right? Like down here, billboards, mailers, TV, radio, which that stuff still has a place, and it's still stuff that we still do from time to time. We don't do many billboards, not that we won't in the future, but we do branded mailers that's branded for our company. We send them out every single month in bulk to people all around our area here. TV, radio, it all works. But this stuff is going to be much more expensive than social media. Social media is going to be the cheapest way you can do it. Why? Because anybody can start a YouTube channel for free. And if you're willing to spend a few $100s on equipment, right? In my Feed the Beast course, I go over the equipment that we use. You'd be shocked at how cheap it actually is. We don't have thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment. And our videos look pretty damn good, if you ask me. Social media is the lowest barrier to entry for you to build a brand, right? You can do so many things on social media. You can build a Facebook community, specifically a Facebook group specifically for your customers and your clients. You can make an Instagram account, make a TikTok account. It really comes down to, are you willing to put yourself out there or are you not? Are you afraid of the camera? Are you afraid that people are going to judge you? The main thing I can also tell you about branding yourself, guys, especially when you're putting yourself out there in mass amounts, the more you do it, the more people you're going to run into that are going to criticize you, attack you, call you names, try to be hurtful to you. And what I can tell you about that is it's going to happen. It happens to every single person that is willing to put themselves out there and make themselves vulnerable. It happens to me, right? What I would tell you is if you don't have people criticizing you and attacking you, it means you're not doing enough. It means you're not branding yourself well enough. When you start getting people that try to drag you down, you know you're doing the right thing because it happens to everybody. Everybody, every company, every athlete, every celebrity, every business person that puts themselves out there in a massive way. Not everybody's going to like you, no matter what you do. You can't please everybody. So the best way you can do this is to be authentically yourself, right? To be authentically yourself by putting yourself out there. Social media is the best way. The tools that we're using right now, really for our branding, is my number one tool that I'm using right now that I believe the most in long term for my company is YouTube. Right? We have 2 YouTube channels. We have this one that you're watching right now for insurance agents, 6-figure Medicare Agent. That kind of is going to be a huge driving force to brand me and my company in the agent community. That's the agenda, right? That's the long-term goal. When you're trying to brand yourself, you have to know what you're trying to accomplish with the branding. If you're trying to drive customers, you want a customer YouTube channel. And our second YouTube channel is for customers. It's called Christian Brindle Insurance Services. And it's grown over time. And now we get organic leads every single month from that YouTube channel. And they're very, very high quality leads. We get them from all over the place. YouTube, in my opinion, is going to be the most valuable tool that you can use to brand yourself and your business. You just got to get over your jitters of getting in front of the camera. I look at it no differently as somebody that has jitters of calling a lead or picking up the phone and dialing and talking to somebody. You feel the sweat in your palms. You feel the nervousness, the unease, and at first you're not very good at it. But over time, it's like a muscle. The more you do it, you work it out. The muscle gets stronger. You get more comfortable. The nerves start to go away, right? Making videos and putting yourself out there is no different. Why do I have so much ease at getting in front of the camera and talking to you guys? It's because I've been doing it for years now. I have probably 1,000 videos that I've filmed over the years. Literally, maybe more. So at this point, it's kind of second nature to me. But I had to go through those jitters and kind of just push through anyway in order to get through that, right? So it's going to bode well for you. YouTube being owned by Google, I don't know if you guys know this, but YouTube is the second largest search engine, period, in the world right now. Google's number one. Google owns YouTube. So it's the second largest search engine in the world. There's no better way to get your message out there, in my opinion, than building up a brand on YouTube. Now, YouTube is an established company. It's typically not going to happen right away or overnight. It's going to be a slow build. It's not going to be something like a TikTok where you can immediately take off. But do we know if TikTok's going to be here in 5 years? Some of you might be like, yes, we know. I don't know that. I think YouTube is, if I could have 1 million followers on any platform right now, I would pick YouTube because I know that's solid, right? And YouTube is going to be here for the long haul. YouTube is like that relationship that you know is the one and the person you want to marry. YouTube's the girl you want to marry, right? TikTok might be that fling, somebody you met at the nightclub or something like that, right? It's exciting in the moment, but it might not be great long term, right? And maybe I'm wrong about that. Sometimes couples hook up that way, I guess, and they stay together and they're happy. But you guys get my analogy. It might not be the best one, but YouTube, in my opinion, is valuable for you to establish yourself on over a long period of time, because really look at people that have built on YouTube early on, right? You have like Gordon Marketing. You have people like Christopher Westfall. You have people like there's a lot of people that started on YouTube pretty early on in its infancy, maybe before or after 2010, maybe that's kind of time period, and they've really rode the wave of YouTube as it's grown as a platform. I believe in the next 10 years, it's going to only continue to grow. There's still waves that can be rode on YouTube. So imagine if you started a YouTube channel today and you consistently put out a video a week, let's say. You don't have to put out a video every single day. Some of you don't have time to do that. I don't even have time to do that. We do 3 to 4 videos a week on this channel. We don't do one every single day. But imagine a world where maybe you put out a video once a week for 5 years straight and you're very disciplined about that. Well, your channel could really ride a wave during that time period. YouTube is about the long haul, and it's not going to be about next week from now or maybe a month from now. It's going to be something that builds over time that can become a valuable asset for your business and whatever you're trying to do. Whether you're trying to make sales, you tailor your content towards your customers. If you're trying to recruit agents, you tailor your content towards agents, right? So just depending on what you're trying to do, but YouTube is my number one play right now. I think it's the most valuable way you can brand yourself in anything in 2021, and insurance is no different. Podcast has been a huge thing for me. It doesn't have the ceiling that YouTube has, in my opinion. I don't think it has the ceiling that YouTube has. Now, these things kind of overlap, because for me, I host 2 podcasts. I host the Everything Medicare Podcast, which is for consumers. We have probably almost 260 episodes of that at this point in time. We started making that show about 3 years ago, and it's become a monster for us. We get all kinds of business from our podcast, but we also film it on video and put it on our Christian Brindle Insurance Services YouTube channel. So we try to get the most out of that video and that content as we can. It goes on about 15 to 20 different audio platforms like Apple Podcast, iTunes, goes on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Google Cast. It just goes all over the place. And then we also put the video version on YouTube. So we're trying to get the most out of that content. So some of these two actually kind of overlap with what our strategy is, right? Taco Tuesday is another podcast that we do, that Glenn Shelton and I do, that we actually post every single episode on the YouTube channel, right? And so I would say the main thing that I can tell you guys is understanding the long-term form. Now, I believe that YouTube is more of a long-term play than a podcast. I don't know how long podcasts will be relevant. I have no idea. But I believe that YouTube is going to be relevant for a long, long time. And I think it's a safe bet. I think it's like a blue chip stock for any of you who have invested in stocks before. YouTube is like a Disney, a blue chip stock that probably isn't going to lose money over a 10-year span, right? It's just very, very unlikely. And TikTok might be a smaller company that's maybe more of a startup company. They just went public, and you just don't know what they're going to do, right? A TikTok might be an Airbnb, maybe a little bit more volatile, maybe a little bit more risky, right? But it might have potential upside. So, but it's a little bit of a risk. You just don't know what it's going to do long term. So that's my reasoning behind that. We also put books out. I put out multiple books. I put out a book for agents called How to Be a Six-Figure Medicare Agent. There's a link to that down in the description if you're interested on Amazon. I put out books for consumers about Medicare. And books have been a big part of what we do too, right? It's just, for me, when it comes to branding yourself, the more things you can have out there into the stratosphere, the better, right? The more different pieces of content you're going to have out there, the more chance someone's going to accidentally stumble upon you on the internet. Makes sense, right? Some people might be bookworms, and they'll more likely to find you on Amazon through your books than they'll ever be on Instagram. So you want to be what's known as omnipresence as much as you possibly can. Omnipresence is a biblical term, actually, for those of you who might be aware of that. It's a biblical term that's referred to describe God. Omnipresence means everywhere at the same time. It's like something that's used to describe God. You can be omnipresent on the internet and on social media if you know what you're doing. You can be all over the place, right? We have presence on Instagram now in agent and consumer capacities. We have our podcasts all over the place. We have 2 YouTube channels. We have 2 podcasts, actually. We're starting to do more on TikTok. We have content and information that goes up on LinkedIn. We have the Facebook group. Like, we're all over the place. I'm all in. I'm a believer in this strategy, guys, long term. And it's actually done a lot for my business already. I just believe we're just scratching the surface of what it can do. Facebook is great. Like I said, I talked about Facebook groups a little bit for like consumers or whatever you're trying to do. Branded mailers, I think if you're targeting seniors, I think the mail still has some kind of value. I don't put a huge amount of our marketing budget into it, but we do a decent amount. Probably do about $1,000 a month at this point of branded mail that goes out to the local community here, and we get calls from it. And it's something that helps, just people see our name and our logo over and over and over again, right? It's just, what is it about? Subconsciously thinking of us when they think of our product or service. Subconsciously. They don't even realize what we're doing, but we're doing it. Google, SEO, right? You want people to be able to organically stumble upon you. And if you're a local business, right? Like we're for the most part a local business. We're licensed in 40 plus states at this point, but we're still a local business, right? We still do a bulk of our business here in Utah in the Salt Lake area. So you want people to be able to Google you in your area and stumble upon your business. Maybe your Google My Business page, maybe your website, something like that. And if you structure your website with blogs, videos, and this is a strategy you can use to kind of tie it all together, right? You can put YouTube videos on your website. You can essentially make your YouTube videos designed around certain keywords that are searched often. Look for free keyword searches. That way you kind of know what to talk about that's actually going to help drive traffic to your website and your YouTube channel. And you can also write a blog around the same exact topic and put that on your website. And if you structure your website with the proper keywords and that kind of simple SEO strategy really is what it is, you have more of a chance of people stumbling across your website. And when they're just in your area and you're looking for, let's say, Medicare agency or Medicare help in Utah, right, where I am, or Medicare help in Texas, or Medicare help in San Antonio, or Medicare help in Miami, whatever the case might be. Now, some people say, well, Christian, what about these huge, large companies that dump millions and millions of dollars into Google? I'm never going to be able to compete against them. You're right, on a national scale. But if you're tailoring it to your local area, Google wants to reward local businesses. So they're going to give you a fighting chance. You're going to pop up probably before the national companies will, even if you're not spending the money that they are. Because Google wants to promote businesses that are local to where the person is searching. Right? Google's going to capture their IP address. Google is going to track their location. So they're going to know the area that they're searching in. And then Google's going to want to show them businesses that are kind of in their atmosphere, right? So one thing you can do is if you have 300, 400, 500 clients, you can spend some time calling them, asking for Google reviews. That's going to help, in my opinion, just from a social proof stance that we've found. And people stumbling across you on Google, if you just do just a little bit of that organic SEO stuff, is going to help you out. Anyway, guys, this video's gone kind of long. I hope you got some value out of it. This is a topic that I'm very passionate about. I think it's going to be the best thing you can do for your business if you're trying to be in business for 10 years or longer, or maybe even 5 years or longer. It's a long-term play. It's a snowball effect, but it's something that can help you out dramatically in your business. If you found this video helpful, I need you to do me a favor. I gave you a lot of information for free on this video. What I ask for you to do for me is like this video. Drop a like on it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to this channel already. Hit the notification bell. Comment what you thought on this video. Was it helpful? Is there another topic you'd like to see us talk about in the future? Have you had any strategies, luck with any of these strategies that I talked about in this video today? We want to hear about it. We want to hear what you have to say about it. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Just make sure that branding is part of your strategy going forward. I think it's going to help you out long term. It's more of a long-term play, but can just add another component to your business. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching this. Here's to your success and your abundance. Thanks, guys.